Moscow rewards pilots who downed U.S. drone. EU leaders gather to discuss pressure on Russia. European Union leaders are meeting in Brussels for a two-day summit, which will cover continued EU support for Ukraine, measures to increase collective pressure on Russia, and decisions on sending more ammunition to Kyiv. Since the war began, EU member states have made available about $73 billion to Ukraine, the bloc said, adding that it is united in its solidarity with Ukraine and will stand by the country for as long as it takes. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu awarded medals to two fighter pilots responsible for dumping fuel on and then hitting the propeller of a U.S. surveillance drone over the Black Sea, according to the Russian state news agency TASS. The White House recently released footage of the incident that appeared to refute the Kremlin's claims that the United States was the aggressor. The Pentagon said this week that the United States would continue to conduct operations over the Black Sea. Here's the latest on the war and its impact across the globe. Key developments. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky toured the frontline region of Kherson in southern Ukraine on Thursday, his second visit to a battleground area in 2 days. Zelensky visited an energy facility and pledged to ensure full restoration and protection of our energy sector amid a months-long Russian assault on key infrastructure across Ukraine, according to his Telegram channel. He is also expected to address the EU support virtually. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis called Russian President Vladimir Putin a war criminal days after coming under fire, including from his own party, for dismissing the invasion of Ukraine as a territorial dispute. In an interview with Piers Morgan, which Morgan teased in a New York Post column ahead of its airing, DeSantis said Putin should be held accountable for the war. Lawmakers in Sweden formally voted to allow the country to join NATO. Sweden will be safer and more secure, and we will be a security provider to the alliance, Foreign Minister Tobias Billström said in a tweet announcing the vote. Sweden applied for membership in the alliance in May. Its candidacy still requires final approval from NATO's existing members. Ukraine needs $411 billion for reconstruction efforts, according to a new estimate from the World Bank on Thursday. Direct damage in the country exceeds $135 billion, the joint study by the Ukrainian government, the European Commission, and the United Nations found. Global impact. Arresting Putin if he traveled abroad would be a declaration of war against Russia, Russian Security Council Deputy Chairman Dmitry Medvedev said Thursday, according to state news agency TASS. The International Criminal Court last week issued an arrest warrant for the Russian president over alleged war crimes in Ukraine. Medvedev spoke in response to earlier comments by the German Federal Minister of Justice that Berlin would be obliged to comply with the ICC if Putin were to visit. The warrant is considered largely unenforceable, as Russia does not accept the jurisdiction of the ICC. Prince William, heir to the British throne, made a surprise visit to troops in Poland, according to Kensington Palace. William met with British and Polish troops and praised their extraordinary work in support of Ukraine. He also visited Ukrainian refugee families staying in a shelter in Poland and said more needs to be done to address the humanitarian crisis. Russia has invited Iran's foreign minister to visit Moscow, the Kremlin said Thursday. Hossein Amir-Abdollahian will meet with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, on Wednesday for negotiations and developments across the Middle East. The U.S. Treasury Department has imposed over 2,500 sanctions related to the Russian invasion, Secretary Janet L. Yellen said. We have degraded the Kremlin's ability to replace more than 9,000 pieces of heavy military equipment that it has lost on the battlefield, she said at a Senate subcommittee meeting.